Hello everyone, in this video I'll be telling you about context engineering and I'll be telling you why whenever you talk with AI, whatever it is, ChatGPT or Cloud, why you keep getting bad outputs and not get the outputs what you want. So let's get started. So context engineering. Why your AI keeps getting it wrong. Right. The problem with every AI interaction is that where every time you open AI, it knows nothing about you. Okay. You type a prompt, you get a generated response. And then you talk with the AI, try to fix that response, and you spend an hour tweaking it. And still you get wrong. And this cycle keeps going on. This is not a prompt problem. This is not an issue of the prompt you wrote. It is because the AI is assuming everything. AI has no information about your business, no information about your brand voice, no AI has absolutely no information about you whatsoever. Everything it is assuming, right? So AI doesn't have any business context, AI doesn't have any brand voice knowledge, AI doesn't know your goals, what do you really want, and AI doesn't know any constraints, what it shouldn't do, right? So that is why whenever AI doesn't have any information, whenever AI doesn't have the complete information, AI assumes a lot of things, and that is why the output that you get tends to be wrong. So let us first start by looking at the evolution of AI interaction, right? In 2022, we started the prompt engineering because at that time, the context window was around 4,000 tokens. The AI was recently launched, ChatGPT was just launched in 2022. And at the time, the context window of the AI models, the ChatGPT models, was small. So, in order to interact with the AI, it was necessary for you to use smaller instructions, and you had to write the perfect instruction in order to get the perfect output. So, at the time, that small instructions were called prompts, and engineering those small instructions or prompts was called prompt engineering. And at the time, prompt engineering jobs were at a boom, right? They were paying $200,000 every single year. But as AI, the context limit of AI got better and bigger, and as AI got more and more better, then we switched to vibe coding in 2023. Now AI could write some code, right? But still, the context limit was around 32,000 tokens, not absolutely very large context limit, right? Still, now you can talk with the AI and see what happens. You can just instruct, right? You can say, just create a website like this, it should look like this. An AI generates the output and you just talk with it, keep iterating and keep improving. So at that time, this process of creating the application or coding was termed as vibe coding, and this term was coined by Andrej Karpathy, right? And then in 2025, a new term emerged. This was called context engineering, right? Context engineering means give AI the right information or right environment before it responds. Now, in what happened in 2025, the context limit of AI grew. So before it was 4,000, then 32,000. Now it was more than a billion token, and a billion token is a large amount of context limit. Now you can give AI a lot of information. Earlier there was a constraint of 4,000 tokens, so that is why you absolutely had to give only a small paragraph. If you gave any large instruction than that, then AI will not be able to respond, right? Because the context limit might fill. But now you could give the AI a lot of information because the context limit is very high as compared to what it was before. So now a new term emerged. This is called context engineering. And now prompt engineering and vibe coding are not as used and not as powerful as what context engineering is, right? So what changed? So in 2022, AI had around 4,000 tokens only. So you could you could insert short emails only into AI, right? In 2023, what happened was the AI context limit got bigger, and now with 32,000 tokens, you could enter multi-page documents into the AI. Now AI can reference multi-page documents. In 2024, the context limit increased to 128,000 tokens. Now you could enter entire books into AI. Now AI could reference information from a book. And now in 2025, the context limit has gone very big, and it has Now you could give complete information about your business into AI, right? Entire business, full knowledge basis, all documentation, complete information of A to Z about your business, you could enter into AI. And when you enter more information, when you enter the complete information, the level of the level of quality of output, it skyrockets, right? So the question changed. Before, the question was, how do I fit my request into this tiny space? Because the context limit was small. You could only do small paragraphs. You could only do prompt engineering. But now the question is, how do I select the right information from this massive space? Now in 2025, the AI models could handle a lot of information. Now the question is, how do you select the right information, which you should enter into the AI, which AI will use as context, and it will give you the best output, right? So what exactly is context engineering? So context engineering is the systematic design of everything an AI sees before it responds, right? So Andrej Kapati, who coined the term context engineering as well, he says that context engineering is the delicate art of filling the context window with just the right information. And the Shopify CEO says providing all context for the task to be plausibly solvable. Now, in order to explain to you what exactly is context engineering, let me give you an example. Suppose your friend was watching a movie, right? And you came and you started watching the movie midway. Now there a scene comes and you are confused, right? Why is the scene happening? So you ask your friend what's the context behind the scene, or in other words, you ask what's the backstory behind this scene. And then your friend gives the complete information from the start of the story till that particular scene, and you get the complete information, right, which is relevant to that scene. And now you could understand why this scene happened and what does the scene mean. Similarly, in context engineering, before we do any output, before we ask for any output, we give the complete story. We give the complete information from A to Z, which is relevant to that particular operation or uh, particular response, right? Particular request. So before we generate anything, we build the right environment. How do we do that? We give complete information, and by giving the complete information, we are building the right environment. So one optimizes the input and the other transforms the entire operating environment. Alright, now we could understand context engineering with an example. Like, think of it like onboarding a new employee. What happens is, suppose you hired a new employee, it's day one, and you gave absolutely no information to the employee. He has no information what he is supposed to do, anything about the business, and how he's supposed to do, what he's not supposed to do, what's the time. He has absolutely no idea because he hasn't been briefed. And in the other case, the AI and the employee has been briefed. He has complete information about your business, clients, and goals. He batches your brand voice and constraints. He has complete information. So what happens is, from day one, the employee one will not be able to give his best. He will be able to give only generic and unusable work. Whereas the other employee, which has the complete information, who has been briefed, will do work which is expert quality work, right? And he can do it immediately. So more context of upfront, the more information you give to your AI, which is your employee, the better output you will get on every single interaction. And this is not optional. AI is just like your employee. You need to give right information to your employee, then only your employee will be able to work properly. And it is the same here in AI as well. You need to give the complete information, and this is not optional. It's the architecture, it's the environment behind the right response, right? Not to get the right response, you need to come give the complete information. And now we need to understand what goes into context engineering. What are the things that we need to enter into context engineering for it to work the best, right? So the first thing we need to enter into context engineering are instructions and rules, how to behave. In this, we give AI the instructions. Who is AI? What is he? What is his identity? All right. We give AI it's his identity. We give AI some of the uh, some of the backstory, how he operates, how it works, what is his tone, What is the format? What is the style? What is the operating principles? You think like this. Hey, this is your psychology principles. We give identity. We give instructions and rule. A detailed instructions and rules to AI. In part two, what we do is we give AI examples of what good looks like. This is a good output. This is a bad output. Real samples of the best work guide quality, and then we give AI memory. We give some back history, right? History, past decisions, and ongoing project context across sessions. So think of it like the in order to understand the scene, we had to give the complete backstory. Here as well, in order to get the best output, we need to give it the context, right? What happened behind this, and what is the reason behind, what is the backstory behind this particular operation, and we need to give it history, right? Complete history. We need to tell the AI about the MCPN integrations, like what are the live data access it has, what are the tools it has access to. We need to give information about the tools it has, and we need to give AI the instructions about the constraints, what AI must never do, say, or imply under any circumstances. So rules and regulations, right? What are the constraints, what it shouldn't do. So these are just an example of what particular components goes into creating a good context. And now we need to we will understand what are the, and also identity, which I told you at the first, who you are, your brand was background, your background history, your audience, your positioning, right? Who are you serving, who are you talking to, who you are a CEO or you are a software development agent, AI, whatever you are. You give complete identity, backstory, psychological frameworks, your history, like made up history. You give every information to every identity information to AI, and the AI, the output of AI skyrockets, right? So who is using this, right? So we need to understand the real world results. Who is already using this? So let me give you some context. Multi-billion dollar companies are investing more than $1 billion into context engineering. The companies in leading in AI aren't using bigger models, because who are the companies creating models? Anthropic or ChatGPT? Everybody is dependent on these company only, right? Nobody, the companies like Stripe or the companies which are using AI, right? They're not. Then the SaaS companies are not like Netflix. Netflix is not creating its own AI model. It is relying on the existing AI model, which is created by the AI model companies like Anthropic or ChatGPT. They have the same AI models that we have. The only thing is that they are using better context, right? So they are collecting all the information about their business, every single aspect of it, every single operational, every single department, from the every single minute detail. They are entering it. They are collecting all those information in the form of context documents, right? And the results speak for themselves. Stripe, they built 6-layer context system for AI agents. 6 layers, right? Hyper detailed, right? And the result was 92% accuracy in complex tasks and over 1000 pull requests merged repeatedly by AI. So when they give complete and detailed and correct information to AI, the AI works really well. It starts to work like an actual human, right? Shopify, okay. Shopify also did context engineering, and now the result is tasks that took a full day now take only 60 seconds. So big billion-dollar companies are actually investing billions of dollars, multi millions and billions of dollars into context engineering. And what they're essentially doing, they're collecting all the information for the AI agents. The pattern is clear. Context quality matters, not the model size, because everybody has the same models. And context quality is the primary driver of AI results. Whoever has the better context is going to win. And now, what this gets more important. What's happening is that AI is moving from chatbots to autonomous agents. Before, when AI was launched, we only had chatbot. Now, AI is used to create autonomous agents, which are used in like OpenClaw. Like companies are investing in autonomous agents which work on itself, which handle the complete departments like HR, like customer service. Single autonomous AI agents are now handling the entire departments, right? So AI is moving from chatbots to autonomous agents, systems that run for hours and take real actions autonomously. They think on its own. Context engineering is the infrastructure that keeps them grounded. Without context engineering, without the complete information, AI agents lose take mid-task. They forget their goals and constraints and produce cascading failures. When you give access to your critical systems to AI, and if AI doesn't have the complete constraints and complete rules, regulations, and information, AI is going to be disastrous for the company, right? It is going to be disastrous. It is going to work badly, right? It is going to work. It is going to cause harm. And with context engineering, AI agents stay grounded across long runs. They execute with consistency and accuracy. They scale reliably across your entire business. Gartner is a company, and it predicts that by 2028, more than 50% of AI models will be domain specific. Context engineers will be among the top paid enterprise role. Why are context engineers going to be among the top paid enterprise roles? Because their role is absolutely very important. Companies need to collect information, collect context, and create context documents for AI, right? And when they put those information into AI models are going to be domain specific, right? So this is what context engineering is. Every single business building context infrastructure today will dominate when AI become fully autonomous. Start now. So the thing is, this is the message to the business owners or any founders, right? So time is now. You need to collect all the information around your business because context engineering takes time. It takes time to collect details about every single minute detail about your business, about your operations, about every single aspect of your business, and it takes time and effort to collect those context information, right? And the business owners or the businesses who will act fast and start collecting context before AI becomes much more powerful, which it already is. AI is already more than sufficient to handle multiple departments. It is handling multiple departments and operations in multi-billion dollar companies and agencies and SMBs. It's going on right now. It's working right now. And the companies who are going to step up and start acting and start creating context documents, context collection are going to win in the future. So I hope you understood about context engineering. And if you want to learn more, you can just subscribe and just watch my other videos. And if you want help in doing context engineering or creating AI agents for your own business or do AI transformation in your business, just contact with my team. The link is in the description and we will help you out in all your ventures, in all your business aspects. Thank you for watching.